Okie dokie. Hope everybody's doing well. I know people around Melbourne-ish. Hope you're staying cool. Quite a hot day. Look after yourself, obviously, tomorrow, the next day as well. Very, very hot. And I hope you've got a nice rug, or you're rugged up, I should say. Hanukkah in England, 6 o'clock in the morning. So, anyway, let's do the chanting straight away before we get into the meditations and continuing the Dharma talk. Okie doke. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata gate gate parasam gate bodhi soha. Tayata gate gate parasam gate bodhi soha. Tayata gate gate parasam gate bodhi soha. So now get yourself nice and comfortable for some meditation. Initially to release the tension in the body. And as you do so, you also release whatever tension you may have in the mind. Body and mind, closely related, yes. The so-called self, the 5 skandhas, physicality, and then 4 aspects of mentality. So mental sensations or feelings, perception, mental formations, including our habitual tendencies, as well as intention in this moment, and of course consciousness. So now we're going to utilize focusing on the body, the first of the skandhas, with the mind to release the tension in the body. So you can gently close your eyes, lips gently touching, tongue resting on the upper palate in the mouth. The body is comfortable and relaxed as possible. And starting from the bottom, we will release the tension, working our way up the body to the top. So release the tension from around your toes, top of your feet, the bottom of your feet, the arches, the balls, the heels, and around your ankles and Achilles tendons, and your lower leg, calf muscles around your shins, all around your knees, your upper leg, the quad muscles, hamstrings, and around your midsection, around your hips and hip flexors, the glutes at the back, groin, lower stomach, up your sides a little and lower back. Work your way up your back, up the spine, to the center, up the sides a little, to the top of your stomach. And all around your chest, underneath your arms, and the upper back, the rhomboid muscles that are in between the spine and shoulder blades, lateral muscles, and the upper trap muscles that are between the neck and the shoulders. All around your shoulders, upper arms, biceps and triceps, and around your elbows, forearms, hands, wrists, fingers and thumbs. And now bring your focus to your neck. Release the tension from the front, sides, and back of your neck, and up the back of your head, and sides of your head, around your ears and temples, and then all around your face, your cheeks, around your cheekbones. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw, your chin, mouth, both inside and outside, your nose and sinuses and eye sockets and eyes, your forehead. Make sure you're not frowning. And finally, the crown of your head. Now, very briefly, we will scan the body again. So starting from the bottom to the top, and release whatever tension you may have left there, if there is any. Now, when you are ready, initially place your mind on at the tip of your nose and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose, past your throat. It's quite cool as you breathe in, past the chest area, and breathe all the way into the lungs. As you do so, the abdomen rises a little, the stomach rises, and then drops as you breathe out. And then, of course, the lungs compress after expanding with the in-breath, now compressing with the out-breath. And the air is quite warm as it passes your throat on the way out your nose, due to being in the body. If thoughts arise or any mental activity arises, don't cling to it. Don't grasp at it. Don't try to force it away either or deny it. But let it go naturally by replacing your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind starts to become dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little by refocusing on your breath more brightly. All you have to do physically right now is be here and breathe. All you have to do mentally is focus on your breath. And if the mind wanders off the object, then replace it back onto the object. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths. One in breath, one out breath is one, and so on. But don't count past 10. And if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. We won't do it today or during these Zoom classes, but you can also utilize your voice and the vibrations within the body that the voice depends upon as well as creates. And chant some mantras, Namo Amitabha Buddha, for instance, or in Chinese, that is Namo Amitofo, Japanese, Namo Amida Butsu, or Namo Butsu Amida. In Korean, Namo Amida Bur. In Vietnamese, Namo Aida Phat. You can do that. Or the mantra that we did earlier, Mani Padme Hum, or Gati Gati, Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisoha. There's many, many mantras, and they all help to bring the mind in, to focus. Some of them, or all of them, for specific practices. But the one thing they do have in common is they help to bring the mind inside, help to calm the mind down, focus the mind, utilizing our physicality and our verbal abilities. But right now, and in your own time as well, if you do engage with the chanting or reciting of the mantras or verses, also you should practice the silent meditation, even if it's only short. So right now we will practice this silent meditation for a short while. Don't chase after good meditations. Don't try to avoid distracted meditations. Just let things be as they are right now. Trust yourself, trust the method. Have no worries. Past is gone, future is not here, and the present is fleeting. So don't even try to cling to the present or push it away. Don't try too hard, don't try too little. Middle path. So now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. Utilize the visualization technique of filling our whole being with the white light, which represents the universal loving kindness. Feel yourself fully. Friendship, respect, appreciation, gratitude, of course, harmlessness, non-violence, trust, and confidence in yourself. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards from your heart center, initially to your loved ones, family and friends, and entering into their heart center and filling their whole being with a universal loving kindness. Have the wish that they are happy and have the causes of happiness, that they are free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering. They are peaceful, free from conflict. Now also include those you may regard as strangers, those people you're indifferent towards. Fill them with the universal loving kindness as well. And also wish that they are happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. And you can also include those you can regard as enemies, wishing that they have happiness, are free from suffering, and are peaceful, filling them with the universal loving kindness. So there's three different types of people in front of you, from your own perspective, that is. Your friends, strangers, enemies. May they all have happiness, be free from suffering, and be peaceful. So you are radiating this universal loving kindness that fills your whole being to them and fill their whole beings too. So now let's radiate this universal loving kindness out further and further, distance-wise, to all living beings now, not just people. Those you know about, those you don't know about. The beings starting around your immediate area, beings that live on the land, under the land, in the waters, fly through the air, born from wombs or eggs or moisture or through transformation. And also the living beings that are in other realms of existence that we don't know about directly. Filling them with the universal loving kindness. Let's radiate further and further now, gathering a lot of fast momentum, radiating this loving kindness throughout our whole state or county. And all of the states and counties throughout our whole country. And all the countries in the world, those you have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, as well as those you may have some negative feelings towards. And also have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the oceans, all of the waterways, right down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And also beyond this planet alone, throughout the whole solar system. And all of the solar systems throughout the galaxy. And all of the galaxies throughout the universe and beyond. And have your loving kindness pervade throughout infinite space. this universal loving kindness that is generated in your own mind or heart mind, if you like. And also be present here and now to recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Okay, so we'll continue having a chat, this teaching on my everything song about impermanence and emptiness, and putting it together. As you recall from the last couple of weeks, we started working off the commentary I gave on, or explanation on, the words in the chorus. But I also wrote something giving commentary or explanation of the words in the verses. And so I've actually put it together. And initially did this a few years ago when I presented, after being requested, presented some teachings, written teachings, as well as some songs and so forth, to a Vietnamese Buddhist temple website in Texas, through connection with my master Chanting. Okay, so I was requested to do that. And so what I did was some of my writings that I had already written, I either put together with other ones, shorter ones, turned them into longer articles or teachings. And this was one of the ones with the songs that I sent, that I actually put it together. And so we're utilizing this rather than just going through the two separately. We'll do it all together, and we've already started doing it. So what I'll do is I will once again read it to you. It's not very long, it's only like a page and a half, and then start to work our way through it, even though we've gone through parts of it already towards the end of it, if I recall correctly. So commentary on the meaning of my everything song. Everything is a Dharma song I wrote in 2002 about impermanence, anicca, and emptiness, shunyata. It was inspired by a verse spoken by the Buddha in the Mahayana Prajnaparamita Vajracchedika Sutra, the great vehicle perfection of wisdom diamond cutter scripture, which in part is part of the Prajnaparamita perfection of wisdom sutra collection. It is popularly known as the Diamond Sutra. The song appears on the Birth of the Buddha CD that I recorded with Dharma brother Roger McLaughlin in 2010. Here's a very brief explanation of these words. So I'll just read it to you blankly now, or I should say blandly, and then just as it's written, and then I'll explain a lot more this week and possibly next week, maybe even the week after. We'll see how we go. So here's a very brief explanation of these words. Everything, all conditioned mental and physical phenomena, is like a flicker of a lamp, just like the flame of a candle flickering in the wind and not ever remaining the same. The life of a flower. The life of a flower is very brief and in a constant state of flux, dependent on many changing conditions. A star at dawn. When the sun comes up in the morning, the so-called stars that appeared in the night sky disappear. A dewdrop in the sun. The dew or moisture that gathers on grass and other plants overnight evaporates in the warmth of the morning sun. Everything, all conditioned mental and physical phenomena, comes and goes, arises and ceases, always becoming something else, dependent on cause and effect. No space, no time. Nothing exists independently. All things are interdependent. No thing knows everything. and with no self-identity. Let it go. Don't be attached to anything. Don't hang on to the past. Live in the present moment. No one owns anything, for there is nothing permanent to own anyway, nor a permanent self to own anything with. Everything, all conditioned mental and physical phenomena, is like the changing of the tides. The ocean tides are also in a constant state of change. On the coastlines around the world, excuse me, on the coastlines around the world, this results in moments that we note as high tide, low tide, mid tide, and so on, etc. Lightning in a summer cloud. As we know, a flash of lightning comes and goes very quickly. A bubble in a stream. As the water of a stream flows over varying depths, it may mix with air and create bubbles, which swiftly pass. A phantom, something that is not real, but is imagined to be real while we are awake. A dream, something that is not real, but is imagined to be real while we are asleep. Thus shall we think of all this fleeting world. This is how we should understand all conditioned mental and physical phenomena. I hope these words are somewhat helpful in clarifying the meaning of this profoundly deep subject. Also, it may be helpful to know that one way to apply this teaching to everyday life is for us not to hang on to our worries and troubles, or to our likes and dislikes, and not to take anything personally. This way we allow ourselves the freedom to live in the present. Enjoy yourself on your journey of discovery. Enjoy yourself on your journey to realizing the truth, but don't attach to it. So last week, I know we spoke about the verse, the paragraph that says, also it may be helpful to know that one way to apply this teaching to everyday life is for us not to hang on to our worries and troubles or to our likes and dislikes, and not to take anything personally. This way we allow ourselves the freedom to live in the present. Don't attach to anything. Don't attach to the enjoyment of the practice. Don't attach to the practice. Don't attach to the result of the practice. So it's important to, whenever attachment arises, to recognize it and then to let it go. Whenever the opposite aversion arises, recognize it, let it go. Neither of them are helpful on our path to realizing the result of the path, what we call enlightenment, nirvana, if you like. And so already spoken about it. Maybe I'll mention a couple of things now. Firstly, if you think about knowing something, so for instance, enjoy yourself on your journey of discovery, enjoy yourself on your journey to realizing the truth. Right now, even if we're wise people compared to most people, okay, our knowledge mostly is inferential, or maybe indirect, not direct knowledge, not experiential knowledge yet. Maybe there are some things, yes, that we do have this experiential knowledge or direct knowledge, but we haven't filled our mind with the perfect wisdom, the supreme wisdom yet. Maybe we've had a few glimpses here and there, but we haven't absorbed our mind with it yet. So right now, I'll use the example I use often, and it's actually in written teachings as well, and that is, if we want to know the ocean or the beach, then, we're just to think about the beach, or to maybe look at a documentary, maybe ask experts, ocean experts, whatever they're called. Maybe we can ask them what it's like. But this is all inferential, isn't it? We don't know what it is because we're not there. We're not experiencing it with all of our senses and not attaching to it. We're attaching to the idea of knowing the ocean, even. So then, to get to know the ocean, to develop, go beyond inferential knowledge to like an indirect type of knowledge, maybe go there and have a look at it and think, oh, contemplate a little bit, the ocean, yes, the tide's coming in, going out, the water's cool, it's salty, in all of these different aspects of the ocean. I mean, it's the sort of the home for the majority of the living beings on this planet and other ones too, I imagine. So all of these details get to know, but don't attach to them. And then eventually, if you experience the ocean with all of your senses, including especially your mind sense, and thoroughly investigate it, thoroughly analyze it, but don't attach to it, then you get to know the ocean directly. So this is the same with, you could say, ultimate truth, emptiness of self, if you like. So first of all, we get to know it inferentially by listening to the teachings, reading the teachings, and then contemplating, using our ability to contemplate what is known as the wisdom of contemplation or wisdom tool of contemplation after hearing it. And then included in contemplating is investigation and analysis. Investigation is like looking at the more gross aspects of whatever it is you are looking at or contemplating. Analyzing is getting deeper into it and looking at or contemplating the more subtle aspects of whatever it is that you are contemplating. And of course, we want to, from a conditioned phenomena point of view, we want to get to clearly perceive the impermanence, the unsatisfactoriness, and the no self of phenomena. And go beyond that to realizing the supreme wisdom. And like I alluded to before, realizing nirvana eventually. Okay, so that's what we want to do. And so basically I thought, it's funny how I started with the last bit of the article to give commentary. What do we have? About another 5 minutes or so. Just to let you know too, I did longer guidance through or instruction through the first meditation, the releasing the tension in the body, because one of you have requested that I do that, because in a sense, it is actually including the Vipassana meditation, penetrative insight meditation technique, not attaching. Okay, so it's kind of like that. And so it kind of marries it together. So I'll do that on occasion. Sometimes it'll be quick, sometimes a little longer. For all of them, actually. Today we went through the loving kindness very, very quickly. Okay, so once again, I'll read these words to you, and then I'll put them down. Also, it may be helpful to know that one way to apply this teaching to everyday life is for us not to hang on to our worries and troubles, as the commentary was last week. Don't hang on to things. Don't take things so personally, Even if somebody's abusing you verbally, for instance, don't worry about it. Somebody calls you an idiot. Andrew, you're an idiot. Don't worry about it. There's no such thing as Andrew anyway. And there's no such thing as an idiot. And actually, if a person is being abusive, it's like they're looking in a mirror anyway, abusing themselves. You don't have to accept it. Just as you don't have to accept if somebody gives you a box, with the so-called present in it. You don't have to accept it. Then the box remains theirs. As the Buddha said, you trying to abuse me would be like trying to spit on the sky. The spit comes back on the person, the abuser's face, doesn't it? You don't have to accept that. Don't worry about it. So, don't hang on to your likes and dislikes. Don't take anything so personally. This way, we allow ourselves the freedom to live in the present, to not be disturbed, to have a peaceful mind. When we're not dwelling on the past, somebody said this to me in the past, somebody did this to me in the past. You don't have to drag that into the present, spoil your living in the present. and then thinking of the future. I'll speak very briefly about this because it's only like 2 minutes or so. But I'll give you an example. There was a Dharma student in the USA years ago, and he just had when I first met him, he had a split up marriage, and they were arguing a lot. And he said to me, "Oh, can I speak to you after class?" So I said, "Yes." And he said, "But she said to me this last week, and I don't know what I'm going to say to her next time I see her." I said, "That's past and future. What about your peaceful mind now in the moment? You're planning for what you're going to say in the future because she insulted you in the past." And he got it. He understood what I said, but hopefully that was helpful for him. And hopefully it's been helpful in the life since. Okay, so I think maybe the other line in there that the third last line there is, I hope these words are somewhat helpful in clarifying the meaning of this profoundly deep subject. It is a profoundly deep subject, the wisdom of emptiness, but we don't have to understand everything right now. Don't attach to that either. Don't worry about it. Just practice. Things will come to you naturally. As you purify the mind, things are being revealed. Truth being revealed, unveiling the truth, the sacred truth. All right, so I rejoice in your goodness, as always. I rejoice in the time we get to spend together, even though it's on the computer. And just make sure that you look after your mind, look after your body, look after others if you get the opportunity. Study, practice, and share the Dharma well. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. We'll continue this next week, obviously, and actually get into the commentary. I was going to sing it for you, but I think I'll get cut off if I start to sing.